I think this Giants team is going to be really good. I want to dive into much of the Giants' offseason and what they got going for themselves going into 2024. I'm more in basing this as a prediction and as more of highlighting my reasons and what I think the Giants are going to end up looking like this upcoming season. I think with all the offseason moves that the Giants made, this team is too good to not be night and day compared to how this team was last year. All the talent they brought in, and even though some of them are question marks, I still think the Giants are in for a really, really good 2024. So let's dive into it. The San Francisco Giants have had themselves quite the offseason, to the point that this Giants team can make some noise in the NL West, in my opinion. Now an NL West division with a powerhouse that is the Dodgers, San Diego Padres team that has lost pieces but can still be competitive. Not to mention the National League champion Arizona Diamondbacks are looking to make a run back to the World Series after their miracle run back in 2023. Now we look at this Giants team that last year were stuck in MLB purgatory, only winning 79 games, to having potentially the best offseason of any team not named the Dodgers. The Giants have addressed glaring issues with their offseason that have put them in a position, if all bodes well, to make it back to the postseason. I understand that may seem a little shocking, but bear with me. Let's look at the starting pitching. Logan Webb cemented himself as one of the best pitchers in the league last season, finishing runner-up to the Cy Young. Unequivocally the Giants' ace, he was an absolute workhorse, leading the league in innings at 216 en route to a 3.25 ERA, 194 strikeouts, and a 130 ERA plus. At only 27 years old, Webb has really solidified himself as a building block for this Giants rotation, and that was one of the main points for the Giants to address some of their offseason issues, was building a better starting rotation behind Logan Webb. What better way to do that by getting the Cy Young Award winner from last year? They signed Blake Snell the other day on a 2-year, $62 million contract. Snell now being a 2-time Cy Young Award winner. While many people call into question Snell's FIP at 3.44 in regards to his market value, putting him into that cavernous Oracle Park will surely keep him in Cy Young form, especially coming out of Petco Park, which is also a pitcher-friendly ballpark. Because of the tremendous Padres defense Snell would leave behind, the Giants were 11th in defense last year according to Fangraphs, while the Padres were 7th. The same sentiment can go for Robbie Ray, who the Giants traded for, sending Mitch Garver back to the Mariners. Robbie Ray is returning to the field after missing all but one game last season with the Mariners. While he's starting off the season on the 60-day IL, he's still only 2 seasons removed from his Cy Young campaign with the Blue Jays in 2021. Once he's healthy, and if he can remain healthy, which has been something that he's been able to do very well throughout his career, averaging 22 starts a season, the change of scenery could lead Robbie Ray back to at least all-star form, especially after tearing his UCL. Very intriguing move was the move signing Jordan Hicks and trying to convert him into a starter, which was certainly a choice. I understand wanting to try and unlock his potential as a pitcher by having him start, but in the small sample he hasn't been so hot, with an 0-4 record and an ERA over 5 and just 8 career starts. With me saying that, it's still a low risk, high reward move if Hicks can really make something of himself as a starter. And still at only 27 years old, he has plenty of time to really work those things out. But at the very worst, he's a reliever, can easily blow over 100 miles an hour with his fastball. On the other side of the ball, the Giants were middle of the road in the hitting department. The usual suspects that have been with the Giants over the past few years, like Mike Yastrzemski, righty killer Lamont Wade Jr., and Wilmer Flores, were all very productive last year, especially Wilmer Flores, who had himself a career year last year. First major addition to this Giants lineup is Jung-Hoo Lee, the KBO superstar, to patrol center field for the next 6 years on a $113 million contract, with high hopes that his superstardom will translate well into an all-star caliber career with the Giants. A career batting average of 340 in the KBO and 20 plus home run potential, as well as a great glove in center field. I can truly view him as a top candidate for Rookie of the Year. Another addition is Jorge Soler, who was brought in to really address the power department. Soler hit 36 home runs last year for the Miami Marlins, which is over 21% of all the home runs the Marlins hit last year. For the Giants, Soler would have covered about 20.6% of the home runs they hit last year. Not to mention, if Soler can hit 30 home runs this season, he would be the first player in Giants history since Barry Bonds to hit that milestone. Regardless of the ballpark, power plays everywhere, and if Soler remains healthy, Oracle Park will be his own personal playground. A true highlight is Matt Chapman coming in and coming off a down year with Toronto, reuniting with his old manager and Bob Melvin from Oakland. Matt Chapman could be poised to be a top candidate for a bounce back year, returning to his native state of California and being one of the best defensive third basemen in the league over the past half decade. It seems like all the stars are aligned for Matt Chapman to really tap into his MVP caliber play once again. If you guys want to learn more about Matt Chapman signing with the Giants, be sure to check out my previous video on him after you guys finish finished watching this one. The true notable thing about this Giants team is the bigger emphasis that they have on good young players. Compared to the 2021 team that won 107 games, although they were very successful that season, they were the oldest team in baseball. In 2024, they have key contributors under the age of 27. Patrick Bailey had a breakout season, solidifying himself with his great defense, switch hitting capabilities, and productive hitting at the catcher position. He is now the true successor to Buster Posey, and he's only 24. I look at Camilo Doval being the Giants' lockdown closer over the past 2 years, averaging at least 27 saves per season in that span, and coming off his first All-Star appearance last year. With his 99-mile-an-hour cutter and wipeout slider, he's only 26. Thairo Estrada has had back-to-back productive seasons ever since he got everyday playing time in San Francisco in 2022. Providing great defense and speed at the top of the lineup, he just turned 28. Jordan Hicks is 27. Jung-Hoo Lee is 25, and Logan Webb is 27. Not to mention the number 1 and 2 prospects Kyle Harrison and Marco Luciano, both expected to be on the Major League roster at some point this season, are both only 22 years old. This Giants team has the potential to shock many this upcoming season. I've convinced myself that this Giants team is in store for big things in 2024. In the wild NL West, they needed all the help they could get, but is it enough? And that remains to be seen, especially if the rest of the division has anything to say, except Colorado. I'm sorry, Rockies fans, but y'all stink. The Giants offseason is one for the books, making moves to address the rotation outside of Logan Webb, as well as building up the starting lineup, upgrade both sides of the ball with notable names. While there is risk involved with this team, I have my concerns about the bullpen situation outside of Doval and the new additions adapting to San Francisco. Great teams are never afraid to try and get better, and the San Francisco Giants did exactly that. They got better. I really like what the Giants did this offseason. It is night and day, and I feel this team is in store far more than 83.5 wins that was predicted by CBS Sports. And keep in mind, I'm not entirely sure if that was integrating the signing of Blake Snell or not, but I think this Giants team has all the pieces to really make something of themselves going into 2024. I think the NL West division is going to be a lot more competitive than a lot of people may think, especially if recent events in the Soul Series are to be believed. Regardless, I look at the NL West as going to be some of the best baseball you could be able to see, as well as the Giants being one of the more fun teams to watch in MLB. I would say a true X factor will be Jung-Hoo Lee, and seeing how he can adapt to MLB pitching and seeing exactly how well he's going to be able to translate to Major League Baseball. And I think he has the potential to be a top 10 center fielder by season's end. I guess that's my hot take going into the year. I mainly did this to just project and just to take notice of this Giants team. I'm very invested to see how this Giants team does. And hey, for all I know, I could be putting too high expectations on this team. I think that they have too good of a team now to not be at least competitive in that NL West. I think the names that they brought in, bringing in former Cy Young Award winners, addressing the power department, bringing in former Platinum Glove winners. I think this team is very poised with a good balance in young players as well as veterans. Curious to hear what you guys have to say. It's a little bit of a different style of video compared to my more or less initial reactions. I'm very curious to hear you guys' feedback on this video if you guys like this kind of style. I do think that the Blake Snell signing for the Giants was really what kind of put them over the top for me. I have to see how this team is in practice, but regardless, I'm curious to see what you guys have to say in the comments down below. Keep an eye out for the Giants, I'm telling you, this year.